Good afternoon, everyone. It is your host, Crypto Glenn. Thank you for joining me for another video. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Medieval Empires. It is the latest play-to-earn game that is being released in the crypto GameFi space. And we're going to take a look at who's behind it, what are the tokenomics, what's the value here, and if this was potentially one of the next biggest gainers to come out of crypto, potentially when the market returns in 2025, if in fact that's when the market does in fact return. If you're like me, you're always trying to find an edge. You're trying to find where the next 10, 50, 100, 1000x projects are going to be coming from. And it's no secret that history has shown us that the projects that build in the bear market that are in the new space have the potential to have significant gains during the bull run. And right now we're taking a look at the GameFi space because this is one of the newest sectors to be developed in cryptocurrency. So Medieval Empire, should you get into it? What is it? Let's take a look at it. Again, it's a play to earn game that is actually just had its inaugural launch today. I know that they were doing an IDO and IEO on Bybit. We'll take a look at the chart together and try to get a better understanding of if this is going to make more sense for you. So you explore the world, you build your empire, and you lead your forces. Right off the bat, I can tell you I do like the website. It's got, a pretty significant animation. And I do give them full marks for that. I think if you've paid attention to the NFT space as of late, you kind of got accustomed to websites looking a bit cheesy. So it's nice to have a website where people have kind of put some thought into it and some effort, as well as the graphics. If the game looks anything like this, that's definitely going to be a benefit. It looks like we've got some artist renderings here. There's not really a whole lot of information. It just kind of says join millions of players while building, exploring, and conquering land, fortune and glory in a blockchain powered. Okay, so that's cool, but again, it's not really giving us a whole lot of information to go on. Choose your side, forge your path. So I guess these are our characters. Yeah, these are our characters, English Crusaders, in an upcoming faction. Okay, so that's cool, I guess. Play and own gameplay, build, conquer, and prosper. So again, just more of the same old, same old. Here we actually have some NFTs, digital, physical. Some NFTs aren't just digital, physical as well. These real world unique items will be sent to players as collector items and as well unlock gateways to exclusive events within the game and in the real world as well. Well, see, this is something that kind of is off-putting to me. When I hear about things like this taking place in the real world, the only thing that says to me is like party. And if you've ever been to a Web3 party, they kind of feel like regular parties, just with the more Web3 theme. So this, it's cool, but it's not really anything to get too excited about. All right. She's got some stills here from the game. Let's take a look and see who is responsible for it. So again, this is just the scope of this video is just to kind of give you a brief overview. I don't want to make the video too long. I don't have any familiar with these guys. Again, we're looking at this from a risk assessment, if it makes sense to be in. I don't see anything that says that the game is absolutely ready now. We'll take a look and continue to see who's on. Let's view the whole tribe. Okay, so if you've been in crypto, you know who this gentleman is here, Carl Runfelt, Moon Crypto. I can tell you that there have been a handful of projects that he's been on, that he's promoted, that have not ended well for the end user. So I was already kind of suspicious, kind of going into this with my guard up. I can tell you right now, I'm less comfortable than I was 30 seconds ago, and I wasn't even super comfortable then. Again, I'd have to comb through each one of these profiles to take a look and see who's who, what they've done, if they've built a game before, what games have they worked on. But I can tell you I'm very familiar with this individual right here. So knowing that he's on, now I want to take a look at the tokenomics, because that devil is going to be in the details. Almost as I suspected. So a 4% allocation for people who got in on the public sale, and the public sale I believe was earlier today. 7% private, 14% seed. To me, what this says is, and 15% to the team, what this says is, as soon as we launch collectively between private, seed, and team, we're going to dump on everybody that got in on the public. I'm just going to be honest with you. I would like to see this number be much more higher. I would like to see these numbers be lower, right? Because you guys need to be trying to stick around for a while, not just trying to get rich on the launch. But I get it. This is sometimes what crypto is about. And I would be remiss if I didn't share that with you guys. A lot of people create projects just to cash grab. Treasury is getting 29%. Trying to click, there's no information on the Treasury. The initial market cap is 870,000. I do like that. But then when I come over here to see private rounds, I see that they raised 3.6 million. So the seed the money that you raise from your seeding and private rounds vastly exceeds the initial market cap. The fully diluted market cap is 27 million. Okay, so now we're kind of getting up there. The question you have to ask yourself is how much meat is left on the bone, right? And in your public round, you only sold 1.1 million. So already I can say I do not like the tokenomics. When we take a look at here, this appears to be some kind of schedule unlock or vesting schedule. There's a range between 2 and 22 months vesting. It'd be great if we could have a little bit more detail on that. And the fact they don't even give us a percentage of tokens that's going to be unlocked, I'm not really a huge fan of that. So if you got in at private, you got in at 0.0075. If you got in a seed, you got in at 0.0050. When I looked at this early this morning, I think for the IDO, yep, it was 0.0097. So I know without a shadow of a doubt, these two people are going to be trying to get out as quick as possible. And how do I know that? Well, let's do some math. Actually, before we do that, we're going to have to take a look at the charts. So let me see if I can find that. Hang on. All right. So we got the charts, and as we suspected, there was major dumpage that happened. Now, again, let's kind of do some math here, right? Say you're one of these people who got in at private. What was that? 0.0075. And so you pushed in with 10 grand. Reasonable. It's not outside the realm of possibility to think that people got in with more. I'm sorry. I just totally did that wrong. And you got 1.3 million tokens. When this thing opened up, it was around, call it 3 cents, assuming you got out at the top. You 4x'd your money. You 4x'd your money. So you did pretty good. So, yeah. These folks, especially Carl, right, who got in early, they came in and they dumped on everybody who got in at private. Because the price right now is currently 1 cent, not even 1.5 cents. So honestly, I'm not surprised. And before this video, I did kind of take a peek at the white paper. It's not a whole lot of jargon, but there's also not a whole lot of meat and potatoes in there. I don't even think the game is currently ready yet. And between those variables, the tokenomics, seeing who's in on the project, it's not really giving me a whole lot of vote of confidence. I think if you're trying to get into this one, you have to understand that it's a very, very risky play. You're buying into a game that hasn't even been developed yet. It's not finished yet. It's not ready to play yet. And you also have people who essentially sit on the team that have a history of using their following as cannon fodder. And if you follow my channel, you know, I try, I don't do that to you guys because I legitimately want to see as many people be successful as possible, which is why we kind of go over these analyses that we do. We did the same thing with Bat True Shares and Bolt Dollar, and that turned out to be a scam. You know, I showed you guys that very, very early on. And I showed you how Crypto Wendio was promoting that on her channel. And I showed you how Bleeding Crypto was promoting that on his channel. All right. You have to be mindful of who you're getting your information from, because I don't want to see you guys invest in anything and lose your shirt. Right. So I think if you are considering getting into this, you have to understand the risk that's at play here. Does it have the potential, being in the GameFi space, to do great things? It has a potential to, but now you have to ask yourself is what's the likelihood, right? If you go into this, maybe you were thinking about putting in 10,000 if you heard about it. And I just heard about it from just perusing around the internet, trying to find what IEOs and what IDOs were coming up online, because I know if you can get in early enough, they make substantial gains a possibility. So I didn't even know that Carl was in on it. And now that I see what I'm seeing, if I was somebody that maybe I was thinking about putting 1,000, maybe 10,000, if I was someone who was thinking about putting maybe 100, maybe I'll scale that back and just see where it starts to go over the next handful of months, because right now it's looking like it's on a little bit of rough terrain. I mean, even when you look at the Discord and you come over here, you want to see what people are talking about. I mean, it's got some traction. There's people talking, but it's not going off like gangbusters every few seconds. You know what I mean? It's not going off crazy. It's 2:37. The last comment was posted at 2 o'clock. So again, this is still very much relatively small project, and I think people need to know that. Please understand the amount of risk that you're taking on when you get into a project like this, especially with individuals that may be an investor in the project. Understand their motives. Understand that these people were looking to get out, you know, and they did. And they did. You see how the price scales, right? Like 100% of these are unlocked. If you got in a public IDO, 25% of these coins have been unlocked so far. You know, I'm sorry, if you got in the IDO, if I'm reading this right, then it says there's a 6-month vesting. But you know, people who are on the team, they've already got out. They've already got out, which is why you saw the dump that you did on the chart. When you take a look at the Twitter, you see that they're in fact tweeting out, but they're not really getting a whole lot of engagement on their tweet. I mean, people are talking, but it's not, you know, for this to be a coin, and you know, you expect people to kind of have a lot to say here, and we're not really seeing it. So just kind of keep an eye out. If you're thinking about getting into it, be mindful that the game's not out yet. The tokenomics are not favorable to people who got in on the public rounds, and you need to mitigate your downside risk. All right. GameFi space, still very, very bullish on it. We just have to find a better project that's coming out. If you guys have other projects that you want me to take a look at, leave it in the comment section below, and we'll do an overview on it. And I'd actually like to come back and do a bit of a formal deep dive on this one, just because I know that this video is not going to have enough information on it in it for some people, and I don't want to leave those folks out. So if you have a project that you want me to take a look at, leave it in the comment section below, and I will come back and do a further deep dive on this video for those of you that need more information. But this is my initial review of Medieval Empires. Understand you're going into it with some risk, and I would not push in with a whole lot of money. It's not financial advice. Just please exercise caution. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.